IDS 403, video blog on Neoevolution by Christopher Stevens. Neoevolution is the evolution of cultures and societies. So it can look at past cultures, how one culture in one area developed, and how that may have been different from a culture in a different region or different area of the world. And you can kind of compare those, see what steps each one went through, what steps that maybe one skipped that one didn't. Um, and it's also you can also use it going forward. What can humans do um, to evolve themselves? And one of the technologies that I think is kind of generic, but really has altered the course of human evolution is just medicine in general. So we have increased our lifespan from the normal. We have wiped out, eradicated diseases that had caused major issues for humans, and that is something that it saved a lot of lives. It's very beneficial, um, and there's a lot less suffering from that. But at the same time, it does it wipes out some of Mother Nature's ability to control population, uh, and to really manage life cycle. Um, you know, there are drawbacks to medicine. There's a lot of side effects to medicine. Um, we build up immunities. We protect ourselves from certain diseases, so the disease change, and then you're constantly playing keep up. The one that comes to mind is the flu vaccine. So we get flu shots every year, but the flu's constantly evolving, and they've found a way around those diseases, those bacteria or viruses have found ways to get around our defenses. And the other thing you look at is, it could be because we're living longer, but cancer is something that's, I don't want to say relatively new, but it's something that wasn't as prevalent in the past. But as people live longer, as you know, as we become immune to different diseases, cancer is now a major factor, and we're obviously have scientists working to try and figure that out. But there's a lot of different causes for cancer. Whether it's diet or smoking or genetics, just being predisposed to a form of cancer that may not have been as prevalent previously. There was other concerns that humankind had to deal with. So there are drawbacks to medicine, and obviously there's a ton of benefits too. When you look at evolution, neo-evolution, and moving kind of forward, looking into the future, there's a lot of moral and ethical implications that can tie in there. Modifying a genes, we already do it to plants. We've genetically modified plants to grow us more, get more yield out of our crops, be resistant to disease, be resistant to bugs. Um, but now we're ingesting something that has been modified, and we're seeing a lot more allergies, food allergies in kids these days. A lot more diseases like Crohn's disease or celiac disease, where there's issues digesting certain foods, and whether that's because we've genetically modified or not, um, I think it's still kind of up in the air. There's a lot of research being done, and arguments going back and forth, but it's definitely a possibility that we've altered it in some way that now we can't process it in the same way. Um, I think you can take that a step further, is genetically modifying a person, specifically to be resistant to a disease, to perform better, or to live longer. There's the ability to go in and do those, but is it ethical? Is it moral? I would say that that's a difficult decision to make, and each person's kind of going to make it for themselves. But what kind of side effects might come from essentially evolving ourselves. It took thousands and millions of years for the species on the planet right now to evolve to the point they are. We took a lot of time to evolve and get to where we are now, and all of a sudden you speed up that process. Is that necessarily the best? Can our bodies adapt to what we're doing to them? And I think that's something that's still up in the air, and something that's really got to be looked at. I do think that we should continue to pursue gene manipulation, bioengineering, and the like. I think that it's an interesting field, um, but we have to be very careful what it's actually used for and what we're doing with it. I think a lot, there's got to be a lot of research that'll be done around the side effects, the long term effects of modifying, and that's tough to do, to actually get a true trial on a person. Then essentially you're doing it right. So it's not just, all right, well, we're going to take this one person in trial and see how it goes. Once that line's crossed, then it's tough to come back from. So I do think it should be pursued. I think it needs to be pursued extremely carefully. Especially make sure that it's controlled, and there's not some random person out there um, starting to just go rogue, I guess, and genetically modify things that are uncontrolled. But it is something that I think is worth pursuing, and can help us as a race maybe take that next step and advance ourselves to be something more and to be something better. So just say continue to pursue it, and just be extremely careful. And I would also say it should probably be transparent, although I doubt that'll completely be the case. But that research should be made, and results should be made available to and explained to the public. So thank you.